Hello there. Welcome. Tonight, I invite you to settle in, find a comfortable position, and let your eyelids grow heavy as we wander together into the gentle, sunlit world of ancient Egypt. Breathe slowly. In and out. Let the worries of the day drift away like a boat gliding softly down the Nile at dusk. Imagine you're lying somewhere warm and safe, listening to this quiet tale while a gentle breeze rustles through papyrus reeds nearby. There's no rush here, only slow, peaceful time. As you listen, you might imagine the soft lapping of water against the shore, distant calls of birds settling in for the evening, or the faint crackle of a small fire keeping you company. We're going to explore daily life in ancient Egypt, not the battles, not the drama of pharaohs at war, but the calm, lived-in world of markets, homes, and river life, a slow, gentle stroll through history. Just for you to fall asleep to. It's dawn in ancient Egypt. The air is cool and clear. The pale, early sun is rising over the horizon, spilling warm light over the slow, wide Nile. Thin mist lingers on the water's surface, curling around reed boats and papyrus plants. Birds begin to stir, calling softly from the rushes. A fisherman pushes his simple boat away from the shore with a long pole. He is calm and unhurried, wearing a linen kilt tied loosely at his waist. The water is smooth, reflecting the first pale gold of sunrise. You can see him cast his woven net with practiced ease. The river has been the lifeblood of Egypt for thousands of years. Each morning, its gentle current carries people to work, to trade, to visit friends. It is more than a river, it is life itself. People on the shore wake slowly, lighting small fires to boil water for beer or porridge. Children peer sleepily from doorways of mud-brick homes, rubbing their eyes. There is no hurry here, only the slow rhythm of the river, promising another day of work, trade, and quiet life. Let's leave the river for a moment and walk slowly through a small Egyptian village. The homes are made of sun-baked mud brick, built to keep the heat out during the day. They're simple, single-story buildings with flat roofs, often used as extra living space when the air grows cooler at night. Many families sleep there under the stars, listening to the distant croak of frogs in the canals. Inside, rooms are small and dark, cool and shaded. There's very little furniture, a low bed frame of woven reeds or wood, maybe a stool or a box for storage. Most people sleep on mats laid over the floor. In the corner, clay jars hold precious water drawn from the river. Baskets woven from palm fronds keep bread and dried fish safe from pests. The walls are often smoothed over with clay plaster, painted in pale shades to reflect the sun. Sometimes there are simple decorations, geometric patterns in red or ochre, or tiny, careful images of lotus flowers. A family rises slowly with the dawn. The father might check on his fishing nets or farming tools. The mother grinds grain with a heavy stone, humming softly, sending rhythmic scraping sounds into the still air. A small child plays with a doll made of cloth and straw, while another helps carry water from a nearby well. It's a gentle start to the day. Now let's stroll to the village market. There is no rush, no crowd pushing at your back. It is small, simple, but lively in a calm, neighborly way. Merchants sit on low stools behind baskets piled with dates, onions, garlic, and lentils. The smell of baking flatbread drifts gently on the breeze. A potter has arranged his wares carefully, water jugs, oil lamps, small bowls. You see linen cloth neatly folded in stacks, dyed pale shades of blue and faded red. Bartering is friendly and quiet. One farmer exchanges baskets of figs for a new net. A woman counts copper weights on a simple balance scale to pay for fresh fish, glistening in the sun. Children hover nearby, sneaking tastes of sweet dates when they can. The market is shaded in places by woven mats strung overhead. Palm frond screens rustle softly in the wind. The air is dusty, warm, and filled with soft chatter. Even here, the river is not far. You can see the sparkle of water beyond the market stalls, reminding everyone of its steady, vital flow. After shopping, people carry their baskets home along dusty paths. Meals are simple but filling. Bread is the staple, flat loaves baked on hot stones or in clay ovens. Beer is brewed at home, thick and nourishing, with a gentle sourness that people are used to. Lentil stew bubbles slowly in clay pots, flavored with garlic and onions. Fish is salted to preserve it or cooked fresh, often grilled over small fires. In wealthier homes, honey is used to sweeten desserts, though most people might only taste honey on festival days. The pace of cooking is slow and deliberate. Women knead dough with strong, steady motions. Clay ovens glow warmly in shaded courtyards, giving off the comforting scent of baking bread. Children help fetch water or fan the small flames. As the sun climbs higher, people retreat to the shade, eating their meals quietly and resting during the hottest part of the day. The world slows even further. As the sun reaches its peak, the river becomes brighter, shimmering in waves of heat. Small boats pass one another quietly. Some carry fishermen checking their lines. Others hold bundles of papyrus or pottery to sell downstream. Along the banks, women wash clothes, beating them gently on smooth stones while talking quietly. Children splash in the shallows, their laughter muffled by the breeze. Water jars are filled carefully and carried on heads or shoulders back to the village. Lotus flowers open wide in the sun, drifting gently in the slow current. There's a feeling of time stretching out, unhurried, as if the river itself is in no hurry to reach the sea. People work, but they pause often to rest, to talk, to gaze at the glittering water. It is a world built on the Nile's slow breathing, flood and dry, day and night, work and rest. We've wandered the busy, fragrant market streets, felt the hush of shaded homes, and now the Nile calls to us again. Imagine, in the pale morning light, villagers walking down narrow footpaths through green fields. The Nile's gift is the black earth beneath their sandals, soft and moist, rich with silt from the seasonal floods. For farmers, these floods are life itself. Every year, the water rises in a slow, dignified procession. The people know when to plant, when to wait, when to harvest. It's a rhythm older than memory. Quietly, they tend their crops. Wheat and barley wave in the gentle breeze. You might hear the rustle of stalks, the faint whistle of the wind across the river. Farmers lean on their wooden hoes, taking a moment to look over their land. It isn't vast by modern standards, but it's theirs, worked by generations. They don't hurry. The work is deliberate. Even the children know to tread softly among the seedlings. By midday, the heat is firm but not angry. They rest under awnings of woven reeds, sharing bread dipped in oil, perhaps some dates or figs, talking in low voices about the water level this year. Nothing is rushed. The Nile teaches patience. Further along the bank, you might see fishers pushing narrow boats from the muddy shore. They move almost soundlessly, pushing long poles against the riverbed. The Nile is placid here, reflecting clouds like polished bronze. They fish with nets woven from plant fibers, tossing them with practiced grace. Sometimes they use small hooks baited with scraps. They're attentive, patient. Imagine the hush, just the slap of water against the boat's hull. Birds call across the reeds, hidden and secretive. The fishers may greet one another with nods or say nothing at all. It's enough to share the river. On shore, their families sit beneath simple canopies. Children play in the mud, making little canals, imitating their parents. Elderly women mend nets in the shade. There's no sense of hurry here either. The river has always given enough. As the sun rises higher, the homes grow warmer. Many families rest indoors during midday heat. Their houses are simple but clever. Thick mud brick walls keep them cool, small windows limit the light. Inside it is dim and peaceful. They use mats of woven reeds for sleeping, set on raised platforms to keep away scorpions or snakes. Pottery jars hold water, kept cool by evaporation. You might see baskets of onions, garlic, lentils, staples of their meals. Women grind grain slowly on flat stones. The rhythmic scrape is almost soothing. Children nap or watch silently as their mothers cook over small clay hearths. The smell of baking bread drifts through the warm, dim rooms. It's not grand, it's not royal, but it's home, and there's a quiet pride in that. As the day wears on, the marketplace stirs again. Vendors return with fresh fish wrapped in reeds. Farmers arrive with new bundles of vegetables. Potters stack their jars, newly fired and warm to the touch. Imagine the soft clink of pottery, the low murmur of bargaining. Voices are calm, polite. Transactions here are personal, built on trust and familiarity. You might see scribes sitting beneath an awning, offering to write letters or receipts for a small fee. Their papyrus scrolls curl in the dry air. They dip reeds into ink made from soot and gum. Merchants from other regions bring spices, beads, linen dyed in bright colors. They fan themselves slowly, chatting about distant cities. No one shouts, no one rushes. The market is busy, but there's an unspoken agreement to keep it orderly. Later, as shadows grow long, families gather along the riverbanks to bathe. They wash themselves and their clothes with lye soap made from ash and oil. Laughter carries across the water in gentle ripples. Children splash in the shallows, squealing softly before being hushed by parents. Imagine the cooling breeze off the Nile at dusk. The sky fades from gold to lavender. Water birds call one last time before settling into the reeds. Fires begin to glow on shore, tiny points of orange in the gathering blue. Meals simmer in clay pots. The air is thick with the scent of stewed lentils, leeks, and freshly baked bread. Neighbors visit one another quietly. They share dates, nuts, wine made from grapes grown in small family plots. There's a hush now, but it's friendly, a shared weariness at the end of the day. As true night descends, the village goes quiet. Faint music might drift from somewhere, a simple flute, softly played, or a drum with a gentle, steady beat. Inside the homes, families gather around small oil lamps. The light flickers on mud brick walls, casting gentle shadows. Stories are told in slow, patient voices, tales of gods who travel the sky in boats of fire, of Osiris, ruler of the underworld, and the promise of rebirth. Children listen with drooping eyelids. The voices are reassuring, reminding them that the world is ordered, that the principle of balance and truth is always to be kept. The wind sighs against the walls, crickets chirp in the fields. Somewhere a dog barks once, then is silent. Imagine lying on a woven mat, the day's heat slowly leaving the earth. There is no fear here, no hurry, just the Nile, the breath of the land, and the gentle, careful living of its people. So if you are listening now with heavy eyelids, you can imagine yourself there, sitting by the river at dusk, feeling the breeze off the water, watching families cook, talk, and drift into sleep, hearing the distant flap of ibis wings, smelling bread and stewed vegetables, watching firelight on simple walls. Let the world slow down, let it be small and safe. Ancient Egypt was grand in monuments, but it was also this, quiet days of work and sharing. Gentle trade, meals among loved ones, a life that followed the river's timeless rhythm. No need to hurry, no need to worry, just drift now, you can rest here.